Hi everyone, Mike Lee here. Today we're going to talk about melody and how to anchor your solo based on the melody. A lot of emphasis is given, and rightly so, to learning how to play on chord changes. We get a lot of questions as educators about what licks we can play and how we can get into alternate harmony and all these special effects that we want to do. And what we're missing sometimes is that the audience is going to relate to melody. So let's think about a melody like Autumn Leaves. Autumn Leaves is a great tune, and we love to play it because we hear Miles Davis play it, we hear Ahmad Jamal play it, Oscar Peterson, Boss Tenors. We hear all these classic versions. Johnny Griffin played it when I was in high school. He came to Cleveland State University and did this amazing concert. This is why we play it. But I want you to think a little bit about why they played it. And when they were playing these songs, they were standards, they were pop tunes. They were tunes that your grandparents were listening to. So when they played Autumn Leaves, they knew people were relating to the song because of how Nat King Cole had sung it, how Frank Sinatra had sung it, how Sarah Vaughan had sung it. So it's important that we spend a little time with the song and understand the song. The song has words. So we want to learn the lyrics to the song. So the first step in anchoring your solo to the melody is to learn the song, learn the lyrics, learn to sing the song. If you can vocalize it, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to learn it on your instrument. And once you've done that, now we want to move on to learning it on your instrument. So hopefully we're listening to it enough and we can pick out the notes and we can figure out the autumn leaves drift by your window, and we know that it relates to the song and to the lyrics. So after we've learned to play the melody, now we want to ingrain it. And how do we ingrain it? Repetition. We need to spend a little time at every practice session working on the melody. Not only is it important because that's part of the song that we know that when we go to perform it, we have to play the melody before we get to solo. But when we're soloing, we want to keep the song going. So how do we do that? We want to repeat the melody over and over and over. Repetition until it just becomes part of us. A great practice to do for learning the melody is to get out one of the classic recordings. Get out the great Cannonball Adderley version with Miles Davis playing on it. And play the melody along with Miles. Play the melody while each of the instrumentalists are soloing. So we stay grounded in the melody while we're listening to these great artists improvise. But what we'll find is that they're referencing the melody more than we realize. It's a great exercise to understand how anchored they are in the melody. Also, it gives you a chance to really work out the melody and keep playing it over and over and over so that it becomes part of you. Now, a good test for you when you go to perform the song and you're improvising on it is while you're improvising, do you know where the melody is at all times? Can you grab onto it? Regardless of what's going on with the rhythm section, what kind of interaction there is, what kind of licks you're playing, and how intense it is, do you know where the melody is? And that's really an important aspect of what we're doing. It's like thinking with two brains at the same time, and one is just keeping track of the melody the whole time. So how do we do this? Well, now we want to move from playing strictly the melody and only the melody to playing more of an improvised solo. What we want is for the chord changes and the melodies to be netted together in our brains and in our fingers so that we can draw on either of them equally. When we listen to the masters, one thing I always ask my students to notice is how much improvisation is in their melody and how much melody is in their improvisation. The way to get to this is to start with the melody, play it very straight. Maybe you have a play-along recording that has 7 or 8 courses of the tune. So instead of just playing the melody once and then soloing based purely on the chord changes, play the melody every chorus. And each chorus embellish it just the slightest bit more. But make sure you're still in charge of the melody, you still know where it is. So for instance, the first chorus we might play. course, we might play it almost as straight as the first course, but maybe we'll just allow ourselves to repeat notes. Alright? Then the third chorus, maybe we'll start bringing in elements of the harmony to mix in with melody. This tune is particularly suited for this approach. Alright? The fourth chorus we can kind of extrapolate from there and maybe play a couple more rhythms and bring in the harmony so we start to get a more blended sound. And so on and so forth. Key to this is the next time you try it, go back to playing strictly the melody. Don't ever be afraid to play just the melody. Allow that to get deeper and deeper inside of you. Play the melody, just the melody, every day for 30 days. Repetition is the key here. So if we do those three things, learn the melody and the lyrics, play the melody along with your favorite records, and then gradually move from melody to improvised solos with embellishment, you will find that your solos are now anchored in the melody and they're much more relatable to the public. And they're much more melodic even for people who don't know the original song. So remember those three things and always keep the melody in mind.